Hi guys, it's Tracy Newcomb here at Rhapsody Art Barn, and I'm trying for a third time to tell you how to get started once you buy some paint. So you bought some paint, now what do? Right? So you bring it home and you're going to refinish a piece of furniture or maybe even repaint a piece of furniture. So the first thing is to prep it, the furniture, not the paint. And in order to prep it, you probably want to wipe it down with our White Lightning, which is a granulated cleaner. And it comes in just like the paint, it comes in a little container, and you scoop out 2 heaping tablespoons into a gallon container. You can use an old milk jug and fill it up with water, and then I transfer it to a spray bottle. So I make sure to mark my spray bottle with White Lightning so that nobody uses it as water, because it is a chemical. So once you spray down your furniture and you wipe it all down, then you want to also spray it down with water to get the residue off, and just another spray bottle of water and wipe it back. That'll keep it all, the shine, the wax, it strips that off the piece. And if it's been previously painted, depending on the finish, if it's a wax finish, it'll take that wax shininess off. If you scratch it with your fingernail, you can tell if there's wax on it. If it's something that is polyurethane or a clear coat, something that they put on over it, it should be fine at that point. Now, if it's bare wood and it's dark, like this dark behind me here, you want to be really careful with those because they can bleed through. So especially if you're using a light color, I would say anything lighter than this color, a white, a gray, a khaki, even a light blue, I would put something to block those tannins, is what they're called, in the wood from coming through your paint. And we do have a product that blocks that. It's a Boss is what it's called, and it also blocks odors. So Boss stands for, that's not the right one. Boss stands for blocking odors, stains, and stopping bleed through, and that's those tannins I was talking about. So if you do end up painting and you have those bleed through, it turns pink on your white or something comes through, you can go back and do it again. You can just block it and paint it again. So it's easier if you test it first. Also, this is a white base, so if you're not scraping down to the wood, if you're not distressing it, the white should be fine. If you are, then we do have a clear that you could get as well. So our paints are super well market priced. It's $12 for this amount, and this will do, I think it's 300 square feet. It'll do quite a bit, and it is self-leveling, and you do not have to scuff your furniture first. You do not have to remove old paint unless it's chipping off, and it will go on super smooth over anything that is already smooth. If you have a piece of wood that has gouges in it, or something that you will see through the paint and you're not gonna distress it and you care if it looks like that, then I recommend you fix those places or hide them. You can fix them with our Dixie Belle mud. Again, we have a brown and a white Dixie Belle mud. So depending on what you're doing, if you're gonna do a wood in place finish, you could use the brown. If it doesn't matter, you could use the white. And you can actually build out gouges in wood. You can actually fill in holes in hardware. So these are just all prepping your piece. Again, if you're just wanting to slap some paint on something, if it's already been painted, you don't need to do everything I'm telling you. These are just prepping pieces for certain things that could be on your piece. We also have, if you're doing glass or laminate or something really glossy, we have a product called Slick Stick. That's what I pulled out just a second ago. And this is great for prepping your piece if you want to put it over something slick. Now you've got your piece, you're ready to go, you've done all of the prep work. First, we want to grab your spray bottle. If you want a heavy, thick chalk look, you don't need to use water. You just use the paint right out of the container. I usually put some onto a little metal plate or a paper plate if you're going to throw it away, and use it off of there. If you want it to be smooth, it's a chalk mineral paint. So if you want it to have a thinner, smoother texture and you're not going to distress it like a chalk paint, you can add water. Some people put vinegar in their water, just a few drops of vinegar, or just straight water works great. That's what I do. And this is a super mister bottle. We carry these also, and if you squeeze it a couple times, it continuously mists. And you want to keep your brush wet and the piece you're blending with or putting the paint on not wet but moist, and that will give you a nice smooth finish, but it also gives you a thinner coat of paint, so you may have to do at least another coat, and especially with the lighter colors, I always do another coat. So what do you use to put your paint on? Well, if you're like me, you use anything you have. I do everything from literally scraping it on to brushing it on with chip brushes, and Dixie Belle has a light scuff sander with a sponge on the other end you can use. They have big sponges that conveniently go right into the top of the paint jar. And if you feel like you can afford to, I recommend getting some sort of a Dixie Belle or a fine quality brush. And these are synthetic. The paint just glides right on. So most popular are the minis. This one's an angled and this one's a flat. They run, all the brushes run between $20 and $40. And I want to say these are about 30. This one's probably 40, and it's a blending. It's an oval medium, but most people use it for blending. You can put your hands right up close and you can swirl the paint together and it just erases the line. They use them dry and just blend out two colors. Our colors are mixable. So if I wanted to take my Antebellum blue here and I wanted a little bit lighter color, I could add my white and just make in between colors. I could also mix the two blues together and make a greener blue. So all of our, I think on the Dixie Belle website, there are actual blended colors, and probably I'll post some on my Facebook as well, blended color charts that show you how to create more colors and what those colors could look like, a coral or a yellow green, or you know, whichever colors you want to play with. So those are our basic tools and basic how-to of how to get started. Once you're done putting the paint on, it is self-leveling. It cures in 30 days and you don't have to do anything more. It will have a chalky finish. It will, this one was done yesterday. It will be a sort of a, and I actually did this one thicker. I didn't do as much of a thinner top on this one. It'll be a nice level flat finish. But as you can see with this one right here, if the piece itself, the wood itself is gouged, it's not going to cover that. So if that bothers you, you can fill it in. If you want to change the look of it, you can add a piece of wood you've been molding or any kind of appliques. You can make appliques. There's molds that we have that you can make them from Prima, design with Prima, and change the whole look of it. But at least this will get you started. At the end, you can seal your piece. You can seal it with wax. You can cover it with a colored wax. You can put a clear coat, which is flat satin, a gator hide, which is water resistant. So at least that gives you some ideas of how to get started. And if you have more questions, please reach out to me on my website, my Facebook link. I try to answer all questions, or even down below. So thanks for getting started with Dixie Belle with me. My name is Tracy with Rhapsody Art Barn.